Well, hello there, gentlemen and ladies. It is Philopologus here with a new video. It is over the Atari Classic Spider Fighter, and I'm kinda gonna take my channel, even if you watch this old Sonic Generations Let's Play that I might still have up, and I was talking about how I was gonna do all these different games for it and everything. Well, I think I'm going to take my channel to a new direction, into the Atari 2600 realm, and maybe even the NES and Super Nintendo, just these retro games, maybe try to do reviews over them, or even just some commentary over them, because you do not see that often. You have Angry Video Game Nerd, you have Classic Game Room, you have Gamester 81. There's just like three main people that I know that do that, and they have gotten me interested in it. Not really Angry Video Game Nerd. I mean, he's kind of funny, but I've been watching a lot of Classic Game Room lately, and he has hardly any Atari reviews. Hardly just any classic. Oh no, he probably has like over 100 videos on him, and he is pretty funny. It's just you have to understand his humor. So, I think I'm going to start just kind of putting my channel into the retro video game console era. I just recently spent like $150 buying a Genesis and about 50 games for it, so I'm pretty excited to start playing that, as I do have a small collection of, help me refresh my mind, guys. Ugh. Okay, so as I have a small collection of retro video game consoles, I have three Atari 2600s. I have the classic wood grain finish, which is my favorite. I have the Vader all black Atari, and then I have the Atari Junior, which came out a couple years later after the original Atari, and it is more convenient as the RF cable that comes out of it does disconnect, but I will get to those later, as I might do reviews over them, or maybe just kind of show you how they work and everything. And then I have a NES, which is the Nintendo Entertainment System, and I also have the Super Nintendo, PlayStation 1, and Sega Genesis, and Nintendo 64. And as that is not a very wide expanse of retro video game consoles, it is a good beginner's collection. I have about 70 Atari games overall, about 60 different ones, a couple duplicates. And as I do not plan to actually go over every single one, I will probably pick out my favorites, and Spider Fighter is one of my favorites, and is one that I am kinda decent at, as I do not break out my Atari very often, as it creates the biggest clusterfuck of cables as you can imagine. So, and I have to record it through a VCR, which is, no fun. So, let me kinda get into the game now, as I've just rambled on and on and on, just wasting your time. So, Spider Fighter, you start out as some kind of pinkish yellow spaceship that can't fly, and you are scrolling left and right, trying to shoot what I think is just kind of some space orb, as I do not have the instructions to actually explain what all this is. Dropping spider eggs, and he's trying to steal your fruit. You gotta keep this fruit. This fruit is, you worked hard for this fruit. You don't want to lose this fruit. It starts out with oranges, and then it goes to grapes, and then strawberries, and then bananas, and who knows what else is after that. And as I do not get to the bananas in this, and I did about 3 attempts overall, got about 10 minutes of footage, probably gonna edit that into a little kinda, I don't know, kinda like a montage, an hour-tage, I guess. in Call of Duty standards. Oh well. So you're just spaceship, and you start out with 3 lives, and you pretty much just going left and right trying to shoot everything. You have a 3-round burst, which is a lot more than most shooter games for the Atari can offer. And you're trying to protect your fruits, and you do not want them to get your fruit. And I think he got it like once in one of these somewhere. And once you actually destroy the main guy, the eggs hatch into fast spiders that are shooting everywhere. And let me just tell you, the spider, when it's like very low right next to you, that is the cheapest thing ever. I cannot even just... Ugh. The most annoying thing ever, because it just kills you over and over and over. So in a level, I'm not entirely sure how this works, but whenever you beat a level, not dying, or you just beat a level regardless, I'm not sure, because it seems like it differs sometimes. It gives you a life, but you can only have 4 extra lives at one time. So once you reach that limit, it only gives you a bonus of 500 points, which is a lot in this game, as my best playthrough just kinda in this was 13,000 points, and I almost got to the bananas. I think my best playthrough overall is 20-something thousand points. I do not know, but in this series of 3 playthroughs, I got up to 13,000, and then I died. Now, me personally, I like using the classic joystick, even though you can use Sega Genesis controllers with it, because they use the same plug. But, you know, if you're gonna play the Atari, you might as well do the first original Atari controller. Now, might not be the easiest thing, might not be the hardest thing, but you want to preserve the beauty of this console. And this is not emulated, by the way. I know some people use emulators out there, but this is all on a wood grain, woody, as they call it, 4-switch Atari console, hooked up to a who knows how old VCR, with the original RF adapter that came with this Atari. It was my dad's, actually. Yeah, it was my dad's, and he passed it on to me, which actually got me into this whole game collecting thing. And I actually started out with, well, I think he had the 3 Ataris I had in some of these games, and then just kind of over the past 2 years, I've just kind of slowly collected, and I've got up to about 60 different games for the Atari. I have about 18 games for the NES and Super Nintendo each. Probably going to review some of those. And about 40 different games for the Genesis. So right now, the Atari stands to be my biggest collection, and it is probably the console I will mainly collect for, because it is a very fun console if you know how to have fun with it. My favorite aspect of the Atari, though, is that you can just pop out a game, pop it back in, and oh no, not the same game obviously, but you play a game, you have fun with it for like 15 minutes. In some games you have fun with it for about half an hour to an hour. Some of these games are addicting. Like Spider Fighter, you know, I played for 10 minutes, but that was just so I can get this recording. In all, Spider Fighter, I can play this game for an hour, 2 hours even. It is my favorite game for the Atari. I hope you enjoyed this playthrough. Probably end it, you know, fade it out to some dubstep, because that's some good music. Thanks for watching. Subscribe for more. I'll be putting out more Atari videos. Thanks for watching. Hope you enjoy.